Charlotte, Ashley, better known in the WWE world as Charlotte, we had a fantastic conversation. And, I told her in the film, you say, your proudest moment of your career was when she won that title. And she was very emotional about it. How did, I know you were watching, how were you feeling at home when you saw her talking about you?
I was crying.
Why?
I was so happy for her. Because she overcame so much with the, as my whole family did with the death of her brother. She hadn't even thought about wrestling until 2012, and of course he passed in 2013. So it was incredibly hard for the whole family, but they argued like cats and dogs every day of their life, but they were extremely close, and it destroyed all of us. But for her, it was that, she was carrying on something that he wanted to be more than anything in the world, and that was a professional wrestler. And that's the motivating fact, and the reason, in my opinion, that's where she is today. It's not because of me pushing her. She just wanted to be, she wanted to make him proud.
Rick, how did Reid's death change your life?
You'll make me cry again. What?
I know he meant so much to you, and he was following in your footsteps, and you can talk about it in the film, but how did his death change your life? Well,
I'm not sure I've accepted it yet, but it just made my life, the thing that nobody understands is we say like he died on my watch. In other words, he was with me, and we were watching the NCAA tournament. I can remember like it was yesterday. He wasn't drinking anything. He went back to his room, and I went back, which is all discussed in the documentary tonight. And of course, I've seen him 1,000 times. He was messed up, but I've seen him like that. And I had do I call the police again? This would be the 8th or 9th time they've been over, or 911. I mean, when ambulance comes, so come the police. So I said, no, I'm just going to tuck him in bed and wake up in the morning and, try and figure out what went wrong again, which I've done, which I had been doing for 5 years. And so I woke up and he was purple, which I've seen before. And we called the hospital, called 911, and they came, and they always ask you to leave the room for a minute. And I went out in the hall, just assuming they'd come out and say, either we have to helicopter him, which we've done before, to a bigger facility, or, we need to take him in an ambulance for sure. And he came out and said he didn't make it, Rick. That was tough. He didn't make it, Rick. We're all on a first name basis by this time because we'd been there before, and to this day, Lisa, after being on life support, which he was 4 different times, I don't know how he could ever go back to it, but it's more powerful than I could ever be able to figure it out. So, and every place that I sent him to, every facility, they would say to me, you need to let him bottom out. You need to just shut the door, lock it, let him bottom out. But I just couldn't fathom finding him somewhere in an alley. It was bad enough when his mom and I couldn't find him for 5 days. It was, which sometimes was the case. The cell phone didn't work. Where is he? You can't find him. And all of a sudden, 5 days later, you've hired a private eye, you've done everything you can, and he'll show up. And it just, it's a very, very difficult experience in life for anybody. And I can sympathize with anybody that's had, really sympathize with anybody that's had that kind of circumstance to live under or live with.